I'm here at the bread box pickup at Hattie's Bread Box Bakery in Mechanicsburg. Let's go inside and see what's baking. So Harriet, tell me about yourself and how you became an entrepreneur.
Started as an entrepreneur in the mortgage industry. Was a mortgage broker for years. I also had a home cleaning business as well.
Okay, so you have a passion for customer service, I see.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really enjoy that.
And now bread, why?
As a kid, I liked to bake. My great-grandfather was a baker in Germany. And at some point I got away from it. And as I got older, my siblings would say, "Oh, Harriet, you've always been such a good baker." And I would sort of scoff it off and like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
But the pandemic came along and I thought, why buy bread? I think I'll just make bread. And so from there, I started to bake sourdough bread. And I found that I really loved doing it. Just something about it makes me really calm. I fell in love with making sourdough bread.
And you're a part of the pandemic bread baking boom. Why do you think there was a boom during the pandemic for that?
Well, you know, I think it had started before the pandemic, but the pandemic really set it off. I think people just, wanted something that was comforting, and people realized that jobs weren't necessarily all that secure. And I think people then looked to it at their values, what they really wanted to do. Myself, I can speak for myself and say I decided I wanted to do something I was passionate about.
What types of things do you bake that are so comforting as you speak about?
So, all different kinds of sourdough, and you can use natural leavening in any baked product, just about. I make country white sourdough, I make crusty rye.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, a sesame seeded loaf as well. You can make sourdough brownies, sourdough cookies.
I smell
sourdough cinnamon rolls. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so you can make a lot of different things.
So let's get started. Let's get our hands in some dough.
Yeah, awesome. So everything with sourdough begins with a starter. It's flour and water, which has been fermented over a period of days. This starter is named Maxine. A lot of people like to name their starters.
It's a nice name.
Yep, Maxine. And it is about 2.5 years old. There are starters that are hundreds of years old, starters even that are thousands of years old.
Wow.
I've weighed out my flour. In here I have bread flour, I have whole wheat flour, and I have spelt. In here I have water, and I've measured out some starter, and that's also in here. And I also have a little bit of salt in here, so there's really only 3 things. So I mix this up. You want to combine those flours. We're going to take this and we're going to mix it up a little bit. You want to mix that?
Sure.
It's a little stuck to the bottom, so I'll let you do that.
I always think it's very fascinating to see people become entrepreneurs. I mean, it's so much that goes into that. To believe in yourself and your own vision. How did you get past any thought processes that you may have had, or any discouragement?
I've just always been one of those people that, I'm a doer. It took a long time. It took about 18 months for me to open this. This was formerly my garage. I've just always been one of those. Maybe it's because I'm the youngest of 7. So we're going to take that, you can add it to this. We're going to add about half of it, please. So the whole process of doing this is you weigh out your ingredients. You're going to mix it together, and it's going to become sort of a shaggy mess. So you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you do that.
Okay.
I will add in a little bit of water, or you can add in water as you need to.
Sure.
Okay. This is the beginning of the process. We make that a shaggy dough. And so we want to incorporate that so that we have no lumps. You want to make sure that you get all of the dry bits done, right? All incorporated in.
Okay.
So we're done with that.
It already smells good.
Yeah, it does. So I mixed this earlier.
Wow, that's what I have to work towards.
Yeah, and you can see how this has developed some gluten structure, right? This I mixed about, maybe 5 hours ago. And you can see that it has some bubbles on top.
So what has business been like for you? Is it booming? I know you're always busy, as you tell me.
Business is not what I would say booming just yet, and I really don't want it to be, because I want to make sure that my product is high quality, that I don't get overwhelmed, that I can't provide what people want. It's a process, and it needs to go not too fast, not too slow. So
Just like bread baking, right?
exactly. If you want to, you can go ahead and get your hands in there. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah. So you're going to want to make sure any little balls of dough that you feel,
Okay.
you're getting those incorporated and wet. All right. So I'm going to do what we call stretch and folds. This dough has been sitting for a while. It's developed some gluten structure, and we're going to develop it a little bit more. Water keeps it from sticking to you. The other thing that it does is it adds a little bit of water to the dough. That's referred to as bassetage when you do it in a big, like a mixer. My mixer over there is named Betty, and she is a 1951 Hobart mixer.
Wow. Hence the name.
Yes, and she can mix big batches of dough. It's a 60-quart mixer.
I can see why this is therapeutic. It's so soft and calming. Oh my gosh. Oh.
You think that's calming? Yeah. Oh, there you go. I love doing it. This is only 2 loaves of bread, so not a lot of scaling, meaning we would separate it out, portion it out. We're not really going to have to do that here. We're just going to cut it in half and eye it up. So we're going to let this sit and do its thing a little bit longer.
Is there a popular bread that people normally go to for the holidays?
One of the things I'm going to feature this December is a Morello cherry and dark chocolate sourdough bread.
That sounds really good.
It's delicious.
Anything with sourdough, man. That's awesome.
Well, chocolate.
Yeah.
Belgian dark chocolate. Who doesn't like
true.
that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then we'll just cover that and let it sit for a little bit. So this one is already developing some gluten. You did a good job mixing this.
Thank you. I actually have some baking experience.
Do you?
Yes.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just grab it, pull it a little.
Can't be shy, I see.
Look at you go. That's perfect. You are doing a real good job there.
Thank you.
This whole process typically takes 2 days. During that process overnight, the starter ferments the dough, and that's what gives it a sour taste. This is all-purpose flour. So what I want to do is have like a fine, not too fine, but a fine coating. That's your job.
All right.
Just pop it in there when it's done.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yes, it is. There we go.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see how this dough has some bubbles, and it's nice and soft. Well, we're going to pre-shape it and let it rest. So we want this to be 2 loaves. And we're just going to cut right down the center. You're going to need a little bit of flour to tuck under it if it sticks on you. So we're just going around like that. We want to make a circle. And you see every time you push, the top of the dough gets a little bit tighter, right?
Yeah.
That's called tension. And what we want is to develop some tension. There's definitely one thing about sourdough, and that is it isn't fast.
About how much revenue did you have to put into creating this business?
I put about 45, 50,000 into this.
Yeah.
And it came bit by bit. I saved money. I sold things that I no longer used.
What's our next step here?
Our next step here is, now that that's had a little bit of time to rest, is to shape it. You're gonna grab, come to the center, grab, come to the center, and then now we're gonna flip it. Push, 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 push. So you're pushing back with that hand. Go ahead. Give you a feel for how that works. This is a mixture of flour and rice flour, and it's what keeps this dough from sticking to the banneton. And pop it right there.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and then we're going to do something called stitching, which is to take that. And the reason you do stitching is to create tension on the dough on the bottom, right? We want as much tension as we can get. The part that's going to be the top is underneath, right? Once you're done with that, you just wait. And this, of course, we just put in here. So we're doing essentially called a same day bake. And some people do that. So it's not gonna be real tight. Use this to sort of tighten it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna quickly score it.
So what is this little tool?
That's called a lame. We use just the tip of the razor. So I'm gonna flip that out. And it is key, one of the things that is key is to make sure that your dough is fully fermented. So my hope is that this dough is pretty well fermented. It might be a slightly under, but the indicators are these little bubbles and the shapeability of it, right? Is it sticky and slimy? Well, it wasn't. So I'm gonna score this using that tip. You wanna kind of angle it 45 degrees and boop. Right? And you'll do like a, yep.
Okay.
And with intention. Do that all the way in. Yay! I have to hire you.
Hot from the oven. Smells delicious. Here we go.
All right.
Right?
Alrighty, let's see how it tastes.
Cheers. Thanks
You've done very
for
well,
that.
Aniya.
I appreciate it. That means a lot. I had no clue that my day would be so doughtastic.